So we're gonna be tier listing all the Fire Emblem characters way too early, and of course we're gonna start with Alear. You know, we're gonna start with Alear because, you know, Toothpaste Boy, Mr. Alear, Toothpaste Boy, Colgate Man, Colgate MC over here. So personally, Alear's design, I think people are like, I'm not a fan. You know, I don't like the baggy pants. I don't like the straps from his vest to his boots. A little weird. It's a little odd. I'm not the biggest fan, but I think people online are kind of over exaggerating it because like the double colored hair. People are like, oh my god, what is this? But the male version of Alear, for me, it's not my favorite. I'm gonna put it in, I'm hesitant between C and B tier, and I'm gonna put it a C tier. Like, it's not like god awful, but it's not like average, and it's not like, you know, it's a little bit below average, you know. I would say that. You know, I think people are over exaggerating online about the design. Like, it's not that bad, but I do think that it's not great either. You know, I don't think the criticism is invalid. I think it's a pretty valid criticism. Let's 180 this entire ship, and the girl version, because you can choose between your gender for your main character, I honestly think is 10 times more solid. Like, I actually kind of love this design. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the long hair that makes it better. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's not the non-baggy pants, right? When you look at it, I think this and the little vest kind of kill it for me. But here, I don't know. I like this design a lot more. I'm more of a fan of Alear girl's design. The hair looks better also because it looks more mixed up, the colors, and like straight up down the middle. This looks too much down the middle, and I know we see a little bit of red here, a little bit of blue here, but this looks a little bit better, a little bit more mixed up. So I will be placing girl version Alear in A tier. I think that's actually a solid design. I think, you know, I think the guy version warrants a lot of criticism, but the girl version, I think, is just like much more solid in terms of design. So I'm probably gonna make, when I do my first playthrough of the game, I'm probably gonna do girl version Alear. There's like 90% chance that I pick girl version Alear instead of a dude version of Alear. All right, moving on to the next character, which should be like this. But yeah, so we're moving on to a new set of character from the trailer that we saw in the trailer. So this guy, Alchrist, this was dropped this morning, like literally before I went live, this was dropped. And so we finally get like a full character profile of him, more than just the what we saw in the trailer. Alchrist is an archer, and honestly, he's a lord, but he's also like archer class. I honestly did not like the design when I watched the original trailer. I absolutely was not a fan of it when I watched the original trailer, and now I think it's a little bit better than I thought. It's not like top tier, but like I think like the shoulder pad, you know, the fluff colors are a little, like, you know, it's a noble, it gives that away, but like the shoulder pad, and I guess the hair colors is very classic Fire Emblem. I don't know what this is in his hair, but you know, it's all right. Right, that mother trucker. And I'm going to put it in B tier. I think it's a B tier design. It's very average. There's some good things about it. There's some less good things about it. I know about the color scheme. I'm not like, you know, I think it's all right, but I don't know about all of it. So, you know, B tier for me for Alchrist. So the next characters we're going to look at over here is a little pink haired girl over here and a mage girl over here. So those are our two next contestants. We're gonna start with pink hair girl here, which honestly, this design is kind of nice. I really like the small, like, you know, the small person with like huge, like kind of like big armor design. Always a fan of it. I like the sword. I think we're gonna see the, you know, pink hair. It's very classic Fire Emblem design. I don't think we're drifting into the out there too much with this one. But I'm a fan. I don't think it's like the best design in the world, but I'm personally am a fan of what we're seeing on this here with the, you know, the red armor. The color scheme is nice. The pink hair with the red. You know, I think we see like very classic Fire Emblem. You know, sometimes you need some cliches. Sometimes you need some cliches, and I'm gonna put her in A. I think she has a really good design, and sometimes you need some cliches, sometimes you need some classics, and sometimes you need things to just be reminiscent of older games. Here we have the mage girl. The mage girl I'm not sure on. Like, I've looked at it a lot, and like I like the robe with like the little swirl in it. I like the, you know, the bright, not bright, but pastel green hair. I like the white contrast with the brown. I think like the color scheme is good, but like this doesn't tell us much more than she's a mage. About her, it's, you know, it feels very like not bland because like there's a really, as I said, really good things. The color scheme going on, like in the little bit of the design in there, the twirls, but like I'm not impressed. Like I'm not like blown away. Sometimes simple designs work here, where you're like, wow, that's a good simple design, and sometimes you're just like, oh, it's all right, you know. So we're gonna put her in B. Moving on to the next one, we're gonna look at our 3 evil friends. So first of all, we're gonna start with Miss Harlequin here, which after further inspection, I was like, this is cool, and I looked at it more and I was like, this is annoying to watch. The more I watched it, like at first I liked it because I thought it was a cool like Harlequin, cool like Joker-ish, like little over the top like clown design, right? Which is fine. It looks kind of crazy, it looks kind of fun, but I will like it. I probably would not run this character in my party based off looks alone, of course. I first I was like, this is fine, and then I was like, it's less fine. So I'm gonna put it with male Byleth. It's not horrible, but it's just really isn't my cup of tea personally. So we're gonna go with our two friends in the back. This one over here, let's start with this one. So her with the big sword, the shoulder pad. You know, I really am a big sucker for like a single shoulder pad design. I don't know if you guys are the same about fantasy, but like any character that just has like one shoulder pad on one side, I don't know what it is, but I'm always like, this is good. This is a good, you know, this is great. Yellow, very like sober colors. I think this is kind of like gonna be a mercenary class or something. But yeah, she's, you know, apart from like the one shoulder pad, which I really like, I think this is very much a B design. Overall, it's all right, it's good, you know, it's classic, it's just right there, but it doesn't wow me away. And then I'm gonna make my bias show off, very much so. I really like this design over here. It's like the cat ears I could do without. I really like I don't know if you guys have ever played Tales of Symphonia, but there's this character who's like a small like little girl with like a huge axe, and that is just like a design in fantasy that I am a huge fan of. Generally, I'm a sucker for these designs. I don't know what it is. Small character with big axe is generally my go-to. So I'm really liking this. I think this is gonna be like a fun character to run. So I'll put her over here, up here with the other gals in A tier. I think so far they've nailed more the girl designs, but then at the same time, we're not done this list. There's a couple of good ones in there. So we're gonna move on to the evil generals. These 4 fellas, these 4 mother truckers. Starting with this one with the green hair over here, with the green hair, the red tattoos, the kind of like robe here. This is really cool. This is really much in my wheelhouse when it comes to villain characters. I really like a villain that's like right on the nose in terms of like its looks. This looks like some kind of cool martial artist character or mage even. I'm gonna be rating this in A tier, like definite A tier, like top tier of A tier, like A plus if I could. Like it's not exactly S because I have some specific people that I want to put in S that I know, but I think this is a great design. And on the same note, this lady over here is kind of like on the same note as this guy. It's a little like her outfit's a little much, to be fair. Like with like it's a, you know, you know exactly which kind of character you're playing to, which audience you're playing to. It's a little much, but I am still liking the I don't know how to say it, but like the not exactly straight lines in the designs, all the like the darkness, the horns and everything. It just comes out as a good villain design. I think like a very good villain design. Even though we're catering, you know, there's a little bit of fan service there, but that's a Fire Emblem game. Like you'd expect that to happen. But I'm liking this overall. I think she has a pretty good villain design. So she will be rated just, you know, below Byleth. I think still girl Byleth as a better design than people give girl Byleth credit for. Next up, we have this little girl here, which I don't know what her class is. The design is all right. Like it's one of those where it's like there's a lot happening, like an armor, some fluff, some twirls, you know, like the hat is a little insane. There's stuff happening here. I'm not sure if I like what's happening here though. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's like, compared to a lot of things that we're seeing around here, I'm really like, you know, yeah, it's all right, but it's nothing like to write home to your mom about, you know. I'm kind of like mid on it, you know, kind of just generally mid on it. So I'll put her in the B tier, C tier here, above this here, even above male Byleth. I'll say I'll put her into C tier. I think it's a little below average. I think it's the hat for me, you know. I think the design is great overall. I think the hat just kind of breaks it for me. It's so odd. It's such an odd hat to have. And then finally, this is kind of like your general armored character, your classic Fire Emblem or these types of games, stoic general general type, which I enjoy. I really do enjoy. The thing I don't like about this, guys, I love the little like I love just the general like hunkness of it. I love the little flags here. I love the cape, the like, you know, the flames in here, kind of like got the red in here. They kind of got like subtle ways that kind of interlace their pattern together as like the same like group, you know, with like subtle. It's subtle. It's like the colors. When it's red, it's all the same red, red purple, I guess. I don't like his like kind of crown on his head, and I don't really like his, you know, just overall face. I think it's just feels like he's bored all the time. I don't know what it is. It's just really he's bored. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but overall, Mr. Armor Guy, you will get a B tier. I think this is a B tier character. It's got some good things, got like that stoic general look that I like, but you know, the face just looks a little bit boring. The crowd's a little weird, but the rest of the design is very nice. So we're putting in B. I think it's an average design. Next up we have Vander. Vander is your paladin, your you know, your Jagan type character, your old man that helps you out. That's way overpowered, but here he is. Vander. Honestly, I love Vander's design. I'm not gonna lie. I love Vander's design. He just has that old mentor, like super armored, like the kind of suspenders I love. I don't know what it is, that big armor. Vander, the beard, the glorious mustache. It's not a Molder the Boulder mustache, but it's a glorious mustache nonetheless. You know, I'm gonna put my first. I'm doing it, chat. Don't stop me, because it's my first S tier. I know it might be insane, but I really like this old mentor paladin type design. I think it works so well for Vander, and it's just classic. It just the bulkiness of I don't know. I just like it. And next up we have Cram. So Cram is one of the two twins. He's a mage. Cram is, I'm on the fence. I'm liking a lot of the colors. I think the brown, you know, it's not my favorite, but it's it's a safe design is what I'll say. It's a very safe design. And you know, so I'm gonna put Cram in, you know, in B. I think it's a safe design. It's nothing crazy, nothing insane. I don't think it's a bad design. I just don't think it's an awesome design also. I think it's just like, it's just there. I like his hair. Though, you know, there's a few things to like, but it's safe, and it's not, you need some safe, but I think it's too safe. You know, they played too safe. Fram, his twin sister, his twin sister, it kind of like Fram, it's a little safe, but like the hat is out there. I like kind of like the forearm guards over here, like the hair, you know, the red, the pink interlaced in there is kind of nice. But like, honestly, I'm also not like, I'm less of a fan of this. Like, the more I look at it, the more I don't like it. I'm way less of a fan of this than I am of Cram. I think Cram is a much better design, so Fram goes down in here. Unfortunately, the twins are not gonna have the best designs in my opinion. Next up, Alfred. Look, I understand what they're going for here. I understand they're going for the noble guy with like the fluff and the open-ended sleeves and like the collar and the, like, I understand what they're going for, like the little crown of the real reef around his head. I get it, okay, chat, I get it. I get what they're going for, but I absolutely fucking hate it. He goes in D. I'm sorry to any Alfred fans. Alfred just doesn't have a good design for me. It's just so much is happening. The color scheme is fine though. Like, the color scheme is nice. It's very, like, you know, it stays kind of sober. It's not too much in your face. But man, what are you wearing, my dog? It's not because you're rich that you have to show it off that much. What are you doing? I understand what they're doing, but you know, I'm not a fan of what they did. Next up, Celine. So Celine, the thing that we're not seeing with Celine is the huge ass puffy dress. Here on this picture, she has a gigantic puffy dress, and it's a little odd in terms of the design. I just don't understand what's going on up here. Like, it's like a lace. It's like a corset, and then the corset just stops, and then like it's like a laced fucking top here. Little odd. The crown is cool. I like the crown with the flowers. I think it's really nice. I like her general like long hair. I think it's cool. The colors I like, but like the dress is so puffy at the bottom, it's hard to get behind this design. I like it still more than Alfred, but she's gonna be like just a C tier, unfortunately. Not the best. I understand what they're trying to go over the top, trying to do a design that's gonna catch people's attention, but I feel like they failed. I feel like they kind of failed there with Celine. And then here we have Chloe. Okay, so Chloe is literally, without even writing Lance Pegasus, you just know know she's a Pegasus Knight. I think that's what is the qualifier of a good design, is you just look at the character and you kind of know what you can expect out of the character. And Chloe has that classic Pegasus Knight look. I like the long gloves, the blue hair. You know, she has that classic, like, little bit of armor, but not too much, like with the shoulder pads. She has that classic look of any Fire Emblem Peg Knight. And being a huge fan of the Pegasus Knight and having a design that just kind of, you know, harkens back to, in my opinion, the GBA games in terms of the Pegasus Knights, something a little bit more classic, something a little bit like simple but effective, that just kind of like gives you the right idea of what you're gonna have. For me, that's an S tier. Kind of the same thing with Vander. Vander, you know what to expect. You look at him, you know what to expect. Chloe, you look at her, you know what to expect. And I think it's a solid design. I have to put it S. I know it's simple. I feel like it's too simple for S, but at the same time, sometimes simple is better. Moving on to Louis. God, I'm not gonna lie. Like, also the shoulder pads are so weird. Like, they go off like even like higher. They're insane. I don't like this guy's design. I know we share the same hair. I know me and Louis share the same hair, okay? I know we do, but my brother in hair, you got a shit design. You got a shit design. Am I saying that I also have a shit design? Probably, okay? Louis, my dog. Louis, I just don't like Louis. Like, the armor is weird. I never am a fan of these characters that are like the silent, like, closed eye type in the back. Like, I don't really like Oscar in the Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn is like one of those characters where I like his personality. Never really enjoyed his design. Louis, my dog, you're going in dog water tier. You're going in the dog water tier. You're going in the dog water tier. I apologize. Get a better designer. Moving on. Edie. Okay, so Edie is an interesting one. I flip-flop so hard on this character. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a cool design. And I'm like, it's not a good design. You know, the bow in the back, the little crown. I like that her kind of like general demeanor kind of gives off like her attitude, probably how it's gonna be. Generally, I think it's simple. I like the color scheme with like the orange arcing to her hair and like the green in there to kind of like contrast. I kind of like it, but it feels like there's something missing. I don't know, maybe it's the bow. I don't know what it is, but there's like there's a thing that doesn't sit well with me. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna put her in B because I flip-flop very hard on this design, like extremely hard. Sometimes I'm like, this design is like one of the best, and sometimes I'm like, this design is kind of like uninspired, but I don't know what it is. I guess I'll have to know a little bit more about the character before I make a final decision. Next up, Boucheron. This is another one of those big type characters where I really just don't like the design. It just feels so bland. It's an axe fighter. I saw also his sprite and everything. It looks like he's just a gentle giant that just doesn't fit in his armor. I'm sure the character, like, personality is going to be amazing, or story or like backstory is going to be great, but it's just kind of like, you know, it feels like, I don't know. I think it's the turquoise with the orange for me is not doing it. Armor looks out of place. You feel like a fish out of water. I think this design goes in the dog water tier too. These three guys just don't. I feel like they dropped the ball on a lot of the male designs and kind of lay up a lot of the female designs. I don't know what it is. Is it just me? Next up, we're moving on to this character, which we have. If you guys have watched the reaction, our trailer reaction to it, we have dubbed Mommy, as you should. No, but jokes aside, this is a strong character design for, like, you know, with the as a dragon rider, like mage dragon rider with the spikes in the hand, the little hat, just, you know, everything about her just screams evil, but like evil that kind of like, you know, it's a good like design. I really like this design. I know it's a very fan servicey design for the Fire Emblem fandom. I know it's gonna get over really quick, really nicely, because it kind of is that new Camilla in a way. But this is just a strong design overall. So, you know, S tier for the mommy character. Moving on to the other one, Lumiere, the Divine Dragon King, which I feel is Alir's mother. I feel that's what it is. I think it's a good design, you know, for like a character that's supposed to hearken to some kind of godly or kingly or dragon type of like a human form of some kind of dragon. I think it's a good design. The blue eyes, blue hair, the crown is a little crazy, a little kind of like, but I feel it works for these characters to have like these over the tops, like golden colors. Feels very regal. I think this is a really good design. Honestly, I'm liking this character so far. I don't think we're going to see a lot. I think she's going to be dead for a good portion of the game, or, you know, maybe her goal is going to be resurrect her, or maybe she's going to be helping us out. I don't know how she's going to play in the game, but her design so far, give it an A. Give it an A. You know, I think it works. It really does work. And then we have Veer, I think. Veer. Viri? I don't know how to pronounce this. The mysterious girl, which is actually, in my opinion, a Manikeef. I think she transformed into a dragon. I think she's one of those Manikeef characters. The purple eyes, I love. The hair color with like the light purple and the black. This is also one of those top design that just tells you like what the character is. And then like the feathers, I didn't think I was gonna like this. It's weird, but it works. It's one of those designs that just says, I am this character and I am gonna step into it and very much be this type of character. I think we're seeing something very, very cool with this character. So I'm gonna be putting Viri in here in the S tier. Yes, she gets the top tier with Chloe, Vandar, and of course, Mommy. Next up, we have Diamant, which means literally diamond in French. Man, the Crown Prince of Brodia. The bro in chief. The bro of all bros. I love the bro of all bros. I'm a huge fan of the bro of all bros. He is the character that I wanna play with the most. This character over here, just the red, the black, the cape with the sigil of his country. Just like, I don't know, the straps may be a little bit much, but they look cool. The collar, the like, it's just a design that just kind of screams Fire Emblem. It screams, it's like, for me, it's like Hector, but like in red, you know? It feels like Hector in Fire Emblem 7, which I loved, but it like in red. So this to me, you know, this is another one of those that's just like straight up S tier. Just straight up S tier design. Up there with Vandar. I think it's one of those S tier, like just good design. This girl, the little, I'm saying dancer, but it's probably like some mage, probably some martial artist type character with all her balls, the girl with all her balls. This design, honestly, when I saw it in the trailer, I was like, wow, this is so cool. She looks like a bubbly type. She has like, you know, again, another design that just kind of screams what the character is and is unapologetically itself. I figured out the word, but we're gonna put it in S tier. I really love this girl's design. I really do think she's one of the coolest new types of like weird over the top design, but that kind of works for the personality we've seen on the screen so far. It does not feel out there. It feels straight up like what it is. Next up, we have, I think it's Fogado. I think that's gonna be his name. This guy over here. So this guy has a lot of fluff to his design. He has a lot of like over the topness. It looks very dramatic. Looks very like just too much. Like at some points, a little too much, right? You think I would qualify. This guy is too much, but how eccentric the character sounded in the trailer just is an eccentricity gave me for him just A tier, just straight up A tier. It's a good design. It just works for the character. He's eccentric. He looks eccentric. You know, you'd think that I would think the same of this guy Alfred because of how over the top it is and just too much into its lane it is. But this is like just too much playing into it in a bad way. This was like playing into it perfectly, making his personality come to the forefront with his design. And we have these two characters here, which honestly, those are some of the designs I hate the most. Both of them are two of them, in my opinion. This kind of like an armor knight, you know. I don't know what's going on here. The purple belt just feels out of place. Just kind of an eyesore on this guy. Too many different colors in the color scheme, kind of not working. And that big like shoulder pad, it looks flat. It doesn't look great. I don't know. This guy doesn't do it for me. Personally, this guy doesn't do it for me on the left. He's one of those designs I feel again they dropped the ball on it very badly. This one on the right, I don't like it, but I like it more than this one. It's a little bit more rain back. The golden eyes are kind of cool. I think this guy's gonna be a mage. I don't like the kind of white gray. I think they should have been gone with like a full-on white here and not like grayish. But overall, and maybe like darker black here. The hair's pretty cool, like the earrings, this kind of works more. I'm not a fan of it, but it works way more. So we're gonna put him at least in C tier. Give him at least a C tier. This girl over here, clearly this mage with the stars all over her face and her hair. I don't know what it is with suits that have like holes on the sides here. I've never been a fan of those. I don't know why there's so many of them in fiction, but there's so many of them in fiction, and I've never been a fan. But this design, red hair, the stars in it, bubbly kind of attitude, bubbly look. It's all right. It's nothing. Again, it's just, there's some craziness to it. There's some safety to it. There's a little bit of both, kind of a mix there. I think it's a B design, a very average design. I think it's good, not great, not bad, not the worst. it's something. I don't think it's gonna be anyone's favorite, at least not mine. All right, so this design over here, this armored lady, I really, at first I was like, this is all right, it's average. And then I realized the detail on the helmet, on the shoulder pads, you know, just the general like look of the armor looks really nice. It's clean, it's a safe design with some like very nice artistry to it, I think, in the shoulder pads and stuff like that. So we're gonna be placing this gal over in A tier. I think it's an A tier design. First I was like here, but then I'm moving it up here. I think, you know, once again, it kind of speaks to the character really well. There's nothing crazy, there's nothing that makes me go wow, but you know, just the general color scheme is positive. Here we have main villain guy, or I don't know if it's main villain guy, but you know, villain guy. Villain guy is here, looks the villain, is a villain, looks very nice. The little purple purple like necktie here, gold, the very golden regal over the top, everything gray hair, the black nails, the black robes. This is a knockout of the park, in my opinion. This is your knockout of the park for like the face villain, like the villain that you'll see a lot, but that will, you know, you won't be the main villain for the entire time. I think there's gonna be the Field Dragon's gonna have him take over, and this guy's just like your symbolic villain for a long time in the story, but he has that vibe and he has that look and he looks pretty sick. The human form of the Fell Dragon, we didn't see a lot of it. We did just saw a screenshot, like the big like pointy ears, the purple, the red, you know, it's very classic. I'm gonna put it over here in A. I like it. It just screams evil dragon. It just screams evil dragon. I am a fan. I haven't seen enough to put it in S, but it is pretty good so far. I'm liking it. Also, I've given it extra bonus points for just the Fell Dragon. Looks really nice. And now the King of Brodia, other guy's dad, Fire Emblem dad, the guy who has the most Fire Emblem dad vibes in the world. Honestly, the Brodia's royalty knocks it out of the park. Just like his son, is an S tier character in terms of look. Look at this crown, look at this hair, look at this man, look at this armor, the gold, the black, the red. One of the classic color schemes in fantasy, gold, black, red. But you know why it's a classic and a cliche? Because it works, damn it. It works, damn it. God, it's beautiful. I love it. Here's the final tier list. We've gone through all the character. Here is the final tier list. So we have an S, all these people, which again, their designs are you know, just top tier, which are probably going to be some of my favorite characters in the game. Most likely. A tier, some strong contender that I think have a lot of potential. Look very nice. B tier, you know, they're average. It's an average design. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's not the greatest. It's average. It works for what it is. Then we have C tier, the ones that are, you know, they're all right, but there's either something out of the way, just something that's missing, is a little bit iffy. And then your D tier, dog water, you have a bad design. Stop trying. You're not gonna be on my team. You look terrible. Get a new armor. Do something, damn it. But thank you all for having watched the tier list, by the way. I appreciate you.